So it's been over a month since we lost Josh, also known as King Cobra JFS. For those that don't, who didn't know King Cobra, he was sort of a IRL content creator, as in he basically documented his whole life. His content was mostly him sitting in a chair, getting drunk, rambling. Most of the time, it was not entertaining. So much so that other channels had to basically take his content and edit it and mark it down and try to make something of it. But when he was funny, when he had his moments, it's some of the funniest stuff you'll ever hear. Outlandish stuff. It's like a Trailer Park Boys episode. That's what it feels like, the way he talks, even. And the people that would show up in his videos. Little sagas. Interesting sagas that would happen, as in parts of his life that would. It was like watching a sitcom, basically. He always loved Ozzy. An obsession with Ozzy Osbourne. Always talking about him. Always listening to his music. I don't think he knew much about Ozzy. Actually, I think it was a sort of surface level thing. But that was part of his personality. He was the Ozzy kid. But he passed away at the age of 34. He is no longer with us. I think he started making videos in like 2011, maybe even further back. I started watching him 2016. In 2016, he was kind of going viral. He posts on Facebook about a sex doll that one of his fans or his trolls sent him. And he went out to do a job interview or something, and a junkie stole the sex doll and was scrapping it, trying to scrap it. But that was all a lie. He would later post, actually, while he was using it, which I don't think this actually happened. I think he probably stabbed it and cut it into pieces. Basically, he messed up the sex doll, and it was no more. So screenshots of that were kind of going viral on Twitter. That's how I found out about him. And then I added him on Facebook because I'm like, is this guy real? He did not seem real. It felt like a bit. But after watching some of his live streams and his videos, I'm like, there's no way this kid's for real. This kid is something special. But I want to talk about things I learned from watching Josh. I even wrote a little list here so I don't forget. And number one is be authentic. It's cliche and at this point cringy to say be yourself, because I mean, what else are you going to be? You're going to be somebody else? You're going to impress other people by being someone else? It's terrible advice usually. I mean, what, you're in an office and you're going to be yourself? But Josh, he was himself. You couldn't get him to do anything he didn't want to do. He wouldn't even brush his teeth, which I'll talk about later. He just wanted to get drunk, go on YouTube, live stream, and just live out his fantasies of being a rock star. His music is terrible, by the way. It's not great at all. He was a terrible guitar player, but there was something. You look at Josh and how he was just himself. You have to admire it. Because these days people are so fake. They don't want to be themselves. They want to be somebody else. They want to be a completely different person. But Josh would just say the weirdest stuff. He would divulge things you just wouldn't say with a gun to your head. I think that was part of his charm. You knew Josh was going to be Josh. Sometimes he would lie and spin these fantasies. He did have mental health problems. One of them which, and he said this and it makes sense, he probably had minor schizophrenia. He would often say in his videos that other women found him to smell good because of the soap he used. But there is a dark side to Josh. He was an alcoholic. He would abuse substances. But on top of that, he ate poorly. He ate fast food every day. Sometimes he would make stuff at home. His earlier videos, he would actually eat normal-ish food. He would still drink and get Doritos and make a food hack. He would put cheese everywhere and he would put it in the microwave to melt the cheese. But he just ate horribly. On top of the drinking, especially later in his life, people would send him Wendy's and fast food. He would DoorDash. His account was always in the negative. There's tons of videos of him talking about how he's in the negative. His dad's calling him. And I guess the lesson to be learned is you can't eat terribly every day. You will get fat. You will be unhealthy, no matter who you are. It's not great for you. And fast food every once in a while, at least here in America, it's kind of just, it's going to happen probably. You're probably going to go get some Taco Bell or get a pizza. But every day, not great. All right, so number 3 is probably his demise. This is probably why Josh died. He was an alcoholic. He drank every day. He would drink in the morning. He would drink midday. Every day to him was Saturday. Some videos he would say, "What's up, YouTube? It's Friday." And it would be like Tuesday. Any excuse to get drunk. Like if somebody died, like a celebrity died, he would use that excuse to get drunk. He would do a drink combo. He used to make drink combos. He would take alcohol and he would take Monster or Mountain Dew and he would combine them. He's got stuff like the Cobra's Mist, which is Blue Moon and Mountain Dew. And he would get it at bars, which is hilarious to think of him telling a bartender, "Hey, can you make me a Cobra's Mist? It's Blue Moon and Mountain Dew." But yeah, we all know that alcohol is bad for you. It messes up your life, messes up your health, messes up your relationships. And some people can do it moderately and survive. Josh cannot do that. Josh had to get drunk every day. He didn't even have the money to get drunk. His account was in the negative. He would be negative $40, $200. He didn't have the money to get alcohol. And unfortunately, fans, well, I don't think they're fans. They're trolls. They're murderers, actually. Towards the end of his life, they were sending him Everclear, Duster, basically trying to kill the kid. Yeah, so alcohol and certain people just doesn't mix. If you are not a drinker, don't become one. Easier said than done, but if you look at Josh, it's pretty easy to see that it gets you nowhere in life. Number 4, and this is something Josh did not do, is take ownership of your life and your actions. Josh was always sort of a victim. He was bullied in school for the way he looked, the way he talked, all that stuff. He didn't have a whole lot of luck with the ladies. Well, he had girlfriends and other things going on. But he'd always say stuff like he's been rejected by every girl he's liked since the 4th grade. Stuff like that. And that's outside of his control. We don't pick how we're born. We don't pick how we look. There's no creator class. But Josh could always default to, it was the trolls' problem. The problems that were creating his life were from the trolls. It was always other people's fault for the mess that he was in, the way his life was going. Some of the worst parts of his videos are when he talks about the trolls, because it just gets old. Every video he would talk about how he has trolls and haters. And, I mean, pretty much we all do. But Josh had obviously a lot of trolls and haters. You know, people are sending him diapers to his apartment. But you can't live life like that. If you see yourself as a victim and you see that everybody's out to get you, you're handicapped in life. You're always going to have that chip on your shoulder, that it's other people's fault and that you cannot do anything to change your life. Josh truly felt helpless. He did not think he had any power, which I think is why he liked YouTube. He could make videos on his own accord. He didn't have to answer to anybody. He didn't answer to his dad. He could just make videos, post it. He wouldn't edit his videos. He never edited his videos. They were just off the cuff, which is part of the charm and also part of the reason he's like kind of unwatchable, was unwatchable. And I think we should do number 5 and just end the video because it's kind of a downer, I'm realizing. But you should brush your teeth. Everybody knows when you brush your teeth and floss, but you should brush your teeth, because if you see Josh's teeth, how they were, his teeth were bad. He would never brush his teeth. He couldn't eat hot or cold food. He would leave food out for days for it to cool down. He would get a pizza from Little Caesars and let it sit on the counter for 2 days. And he would say, I forgot what he said. He would say something like, you gotta make sure that the cheese cools down, because if you eat it while it's hot, the cheese will fall off and the cheese will get all over the place. The truth is he could not eat hot food. It would hurt his teeth. His teeth were gone. His teeth were cracked. They were decaying. He was always in pain. You can always tell. He couldn't even really drink his drink combos. And I bet drinking Jack Daniels with the way his teeth were was probably not a great experience. He was in a lot of pain with his teeth, and it's sad. A lot of this just, it seems avoidable. But at the same time, Cobes, he was dealt a bad hand. I don't think he thought he would ever get far in life. Anytime an opportunity would come around, he would basically swallow it. Basically get rid of it. Destroy it somehow. So yeah, brush your teeth and floss. Floss. Daily. And that's pretty much it. This was kind of a off-the-cuff video I just thought about. I wrote down some points. I hope we learned something from this tragedy. It's sad that he's gone. I'm going to miss the videos, the live streams. I think I'm going to do a video about my favorite moments. There's so many. But if you like the video, if you like this style of content, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe.